Okay, in this video, let's look at Kang's golf swing. Kang, a PGA Tour player, he's won once out there already. So let's take a look at his sort of unusual action. Just a quick reminder, if it is your first time to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit the like button as well. The like button really helps us with YouTube and helps the channel grow, so please hit the like button. So we'll look here. It's an unusual swing simply because he does make a massive turn and works with his coach, George Gankus, to create some ground force to get some speed. Works on speed. We'll show you a little bit of that with a couple clips from his speed training. Big, huge turn with the shoulders and hips. So up the plane he goes. And at this point, he probably already has 90 degrees of shoulder turn and 45 degrees of hip turn. Club's barely halfway back. And you can see he's keeping that club head well outside his hands, which will get it across the line, but then he can really drop it in. So hands get fairly deep there, big turn, and now they'll elevate. And because they went deeper on the way back, kind of working their way in here, then they kind of work their way up and across. The club's across the line at the top, which, like I said, for anyone who's studied George Gankus's teaching, he doesn't mind that at all. Get that right arm back out of the way, and now you can get down into those legs. So from here, much like a baseball position, you can sit down and really rotate hard. There comes that club shallowing out like a baseball bat would. And not a bad position here. Could be shallower in terms of the hand position, but now he's in position like Gankus likes his players to be, where with this leg still bent, he can push hard into the turf as he's delivering the club to start getting the force and club head speed up there. And you can see, so it looks from a down and in the legs move to a massive push down through the ground, comes up. And you'll see him off balance sometimes. You can see him really trying to muscle it out there, but it is fun to watch. And certainly when he gets it going, he has the mental game to really make a lot of birdies. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we look at a wedge shot here, and we should see that wedge planing out beautifully if he's going to be accurate. And we know that the training for speed can have adverse effects to some players. They start to swing so hard that they come out of their posture or they lose their timing. With his, club face position is perfect here. Love all the angles at this point. Once again, he trains to go down into the legs. I like the club position here. I think this is excellent, parallel to the original plane, and he's in his posture really well. Wrist positions look great. Only thing here, at this point here, he could probably be more cleared out with his upper body, or cleared in general, because that could create a face that's going to close too quickly at the bottom. This ball certainly went left and landed over here, which isn't that great for a sand wedge type shot. But I'm sure the days he is clearing well are the days he's getting a better strike on it. If we look at a face-on view here, we can see this massive turn. We'll see, once again, as he gets club back, only into this position. He's already got the shoulders at about 90 at this point. Hips at about 45. And then he'll lift it as he keeps twisting to get it across the line and in the position. So now, like we said, we know the training is the knee moves around the corner. This knee will hold for a second, but also create some down pressure in a second. And so that creates the force you need through the legs and the ground. And now from in here is when you start to push to create the force. He's also trying to create an upswing. If you watch some of the videos, he talks about driver swings, trying to get more of an upswing, which all tour players do. They try to work on that, which gives them more distance. But I would imagine as this player keeps training, he'll keep hitting it farther and farther and farther, because you can see he really doesn't get the most out of his leg work yet. And we'll see what happens in the future, how much his club head speed actually keeps increasing. A lot of the players that are either in college or on tour are working to create more and more speed. They work with swinging lighter implements, golf shafts, super speed sticks, whatever they might be. In this case, that driver shaft, winding it up there, and then really sitting down, really exaggerating here his movements. You don't see this much exaggeration when he's hitting a golf ball, but you can really see it in his training. Big wind up, right arm really flared out, and then sitting hard into the legs. You can see how he's pushing, he's more open up and out for his training Now with a golf club, we can see the similar move as he's training indoors here. Big wind up. Got a fairway wood there. Sit down hard. Let those arms just fall down. No pulling on the arms. And then push through the ground to create that speed. This drive, interesting here. We can kind of see the tracer, top tracer technology, seeing it taken off. That big wind up, across the line, down in the legs, up and out. And a little bit out of balance here, kind of falls off of it. And if we take a look at some of the numbers, club head speed 111, probably not that great for him. And overall carry 276. When he's efficient, hitting that thing in the sweet spot and getting more speed, he's probably more up in the 120 range and carrying it much farther than 276. So just like I said, a little out of balance, and that's probably what's responsible for some of those numbers not being as optimal as they could be. But once again, when you're training to create speed, you do lose timing some days as you're trying to create all that force and power. We'll take a look at one approach shot with an iron. Once again, beautiful turn back, hands and club tracing the plane halfway up. I love that position. Helps the club stay in a good balanced position. In through here, like I said, as he keeps turning, because he's turning so early, the club and the hands get a little deep, as we call it, where the club is moving this direction, perhaps farther than it could be, and then elevates. Cameraman's moving around a little bit here, but there's that down shallow move like baseball, like we saw with the driver. Put that plane back in here where it really is. Not bad. And there's the handle and the hands back to the plane. Left wrist, perfect position. And shaft planing out quite well on this one. And all it becomes difficult for some players is if they're working on in the legs move and then a push, is if you push too early, you'll send the club up off this plane, which gives you a loss of club head control and club face control rather. And if you're down long enough, like here, like a Sergio, you're in perfect position, then it's good to go. A quick look at his putting, because I really like his setup here. I think when I'm working with my students, I really like to see these eyes over the golf ball as much as you can get. Camera's angle a little askew here, but I think his eyes are either over the ball or slightly inside, which looks great. I like the relaxed, sort of rounded posture, nothing too rigid looking, and the arms sitting very relaxed looking at address as well. We don't want to see rigidity with the putter. And then lastly, if we look at the shaft line, forearm line, that all lining up very, very well. That helps the putter work back and through on an easy plane, either straight back and through if that's your method, or on a slight arc. Either way,